All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Wednesday, January 20th, 2021, and of course, we just finished with the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. So, of course, we have our championship round NFL pick'em to go through, and we did really good last week. We went 3-1. Our only miss was the Ravens over. We chose the Ravens over the Bills. Of course, we got that wrong. But everything else we were 100% on. We went 3-1. Like I said, for whatever reason, I do not pick well in the wild card, but I'll do very well at everything else besides the wild card rounds. Again, I'm the New England Patriots of picking games, not very good in the wild card, but everything else, it's pretty dominant. But yeah, so congratulations to the Bills, congratulations to the Chiefs, Packers, and Buccaneers. This is going to be a fun championship round weekend. I think we have two really good games, 4 really good teams, 2 really good matchups, and yeah. Again, this is all opinionated. Please don't get super upset if I don't pick your team to win. It's not that they're a bad team. I just happen to like the team that wins a little bit more. And we'll give our thoughts on everything, of course, and all that fun stuff. So, let's see how we do. Let's jump right into it's seeding real quick. We blacked out the teams that are no longer in it. Of course, we have 1 versus 2 and 1 versus 5 remaining. So the Bucs remain the lowest seed left in the playoffs. And yeah, let's go right into it. We have Sunday 1/24/21 football, so that's the date that the games are played on. And right away at 3:05 Eastern Standard Time, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the frozen tundra to take on the Packers. This is going to be one hell of a matchup, right? It's the media porn, Brady versus Rodgers. It's what everybody's kind of been waiting for in the Super Bowl, but this time, Brady joins the NFC, and we get it in the conference championship. Even it's just as exciting as potentially a Super Bowl, though we all kind of wish this would have been a Super Bowl matchup, the Patriots versus the Packers. We get it now in the playoffs between the Bucs and the Packers. Good enough for me. I hope it's good enough for all of you. The FanDuel line is minus the Packers are favored by 3 with an over-under of 51. Yeah, so let's get started on this one. I kind of there is something I'm doing where I'm not really considering the earlier game which I should actually be considering that earlier game they played in the game they played in the regular season. And that game should be considered somewhat because the Packers, like last year, finished 13-3. They were very good, very, very good. And then there were a couple games, they lost a couple close ones, and then there was a blowout loss. And I mean, they got beat up on by the 49ers a year ago. And then they turned around and had to play them in the NFC Championship game. And, it one of those things where you're like, oh, maybe it was a fluke. It was a fluke. They didn't really lose. No, they turned around and got beat bad again by the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Is that a struggle against the 49ers? Does Rodgers not play them well? Whatever the case may be. Now we look at the Packers from this season. They go 13-3. They beat up on everybody pretty much. They have a couple close losses, and then suddenly they get destroyed by the Bucs in Week 6. Now, these are two different teams from Week 6 and Week 6. The Packers are probably a different team. Their defense is a little bit more shored up. Their offense is a little bit more dynamic. So you have all those things, but still, when you consider the Packers, you see the back-to-back 13-3s, and you see similarities between the two seasons. Two kind of losses, and then they kind of get blown out by a third team that they play in the NFC Championship. Now, this is a very similar situation to what they did this year. 2 losses. Now they're playing the team that blew them out in the NFC Championship game. I don't know if that means that the Packers have like 1 or 2 teams a year that can just destroy them, and they've happened to have played them in back-to-back NFC title games. We'll see if that's the case here. I don't know. This game seems like it's so evenly matched, even though the Packers are like a way better team on paper. The Buccaneers have just kind of been surprising me. The way that they've been dealing with the pass rush. They shut down Washington. They shut down the Saints, who have very good pass rushes in Washington and New Orleans. They couldn't get pressure on Brady. And when you think of the Packers, one of the things that kind of have been their Achilles heel is like that front 7, getting pass rush pressure and stopping the run. That's also one thing that's kind of been their Achilles heel. They have kind of two, they give a little bit of time to the quarterback and you can run on them. And when you look at the Bucs, they've got Rojo running well. They've got Leonard Fournette running well, and they can kind of spell him with LaShawn McCoy. And then you look at the receiving situation. Brady's kind of been simpatico with Antonio. Godwin, Mike Evans isn't the healthiest, but you still have Godwin, Gronk, great. I mean, it keeps going and going and going and going. And you're wondering if, the Packers have a very good corner, Jair, but can he who's going to cover Godwin? Who's going to cover Evans? Who's going to cover Brate? Who's going to cover the running backs? I mean, you have a very good corner. Yeah, he's going to lock up AB, or he's going to lock Godwin, or he's going to lock Evans. But what does he do after that? Like, who I know I'm stuttering and not like finishing thoughts, but like I am finishing the thoughts. It's just, when you look at this game, it's going to be close. You can kind of take a few things away from the Bucs too, because it's going to be cold weather. Probably won't affect their quarterback because Brady played in New England and Michigan. So that's whatever with the quarterbacking. But you kind of have to look at the skill positions. They might be a little slow. They went to Washington. I know, very different weather, but they didn't seem to be very bothered by that. I don't know, man. I don't bet against Brady in the playoffs. Rodgers, he's very good. He's had struggles in this NFC Championship game in the past. He's had struggles in the playoffs in the past, losing games. Brady's lost games too. This game feels so fucking close and so hard to figure out. Like, the way I'm looking at it is basically because of the Packers last season, the way they only really struggled to the Niners, then got blown out by them in the NFC Championship game. The only team that the Packers seem to have struggled with was the Tampa Bay Bucs this year. And now they're facing them in the NFC Championship game. I've been saying all season long, and I think a lot of Packers fans would agree to this, the one team they did not want to face in the playoffs was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If this was the Saints, I'd be picking the Packers in a blowout, by the way. I'd be picking them like 42-10. I'm not joking. If any other team but the Bucs, the Packers match up so well against. But when you look at the Bucs, they almost have too good of a running situation and too much passing stuff for the Packers to match up with. Now the Bucs, they'll probably score on the Bucs. Like, that's not the hardest thing to do. But I mean, the Bucs defense has been unreal. They just shut the Saints completely down last week. They're playing at a different kind of level. Devin White's playing unreal football. I just happen to think the Bucs are going to win this game. I know this sounds crazy, but I almost don't see a scenario where the Packers can win unless something happens to the Bucs offensively, like Brady gets hurt, somebody gets hurt, and like they just suffer like an injury to Rojo and Brady. Like, it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, wow, I really don't know. I'm fairly certain that the Bucs are going to win this game. Brady's going to go play in his 11th Super Bowl. It just seems like a bad matchup for the Packers. That's really what it is. They matched up poorly with the 49ers last year, and they unfortunately had to play them to go to the Super Bowl and got blown out. They match up poorly with the Bucs, and unfortunately, they got to play the Bucs here. So I'm going to take the Bucs 31-28, close game. Give me a field goal win for the Bucs. And Brady goes to his 11th, and Rodgers goes home. But yeah, again, don't kill me for the picks. Here we go. I know Chiefs fans aren't going to be happy with me. 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard. We have the Buffalo Bills heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. Chiefs are 3-point favorites with an over-under of 53. This game will probably have to be reviewed or revisited by me on Saturday evening because right now there are a lot of question marks with the Kansas City Chiefs. We don't know. I think Mahomes is starting to practice today. Maybe. They're saying he should be practicing today, but is he going to be cleared? What stage of the concussion protocol is he at? It's like stage 3, stage 4. Is he even past stage 2? Like, we don't really know too much about the injury. He's making good progress, which is good. Because inevitably, I don't hate the Chiefs enough to where I'm like, hell yeah, this is how they're going to lose. They're not going to have their guy. This would kind of stink if this game was fucking Josh Allen versus Chad Henne and stuff like that. I'd be a little let down if the AFC Championship game wasn't Mahomes versus Josh Allen, simply on the fact that if the Chiefs were to lose this game, all the Chiefs fans would have the ultimate defense, and I even agree they would have this defense. Hey, we didn't have our guy, we didn't have our quarterback. Well, this doesn't count. This is bullcrap. And I'd be like, yeah, actually, I do agree. It's really strange you don't have your quarterback in the AFC Championship game. So I'm not really sure how I'm going to go about this. So I'm going to go about this as if I think that Mahomes is not playing because of the concussion, the foot injury. And I think if he doesn't practice all week and, kind of goes out there and plays. I don't know how healthy he's going to be, how effective he's going to be, how much movement he can do with that foot injury, how crisp his decision making is going to be with the head injury that he just suffered, if he's going to be a little skittish after taking that kind. Like, there's a lot of factors that go into to returning from an injury as quickly as Mahomes is. Because if this was the regular season, he would not be playing this week. Oh, hell no, he would not be playing this week. But it's the playoffs. It's a whole lot different thing. The Chiefs might try to rush him in, and that might be a big problem as well. So we're gonna go for this pick 'em. We're gonna go on the thoughts that he's not playing. And if he does play, it's not gonna be at the best level because he's gonna be a little. There's no way he's gonna be like 70%. He's gonna be like 50% if he plays. So, I mean, it's kind of already a flawed pick. We'll review this game again when it comes Saturday when we go over our picks again. But right now I'm leading Buffalo. They've got all week to practice as a full team, running their first team stuff with all of their normal starters that are healthy and able to go. So the Bills are going to be the Bills, and against that Chiefs defense, they're going to put points up. I mean, they look good against Cleveland, but I mean, let's be honest, the Cleveland Browns should have won that game, but they choked at the end. This game really should be the Bills hosting the Browns. But again, the Browns sort of choked it out at the end there and let Chad Henne beat them, which is really embarrassing. I mean, Chad's not a bad quarterback. He's a good backup. Very long in the league as a backup, so he's good at that. But, I mean, come on, Cleveland. You should have won that. You had the game. You could have been the team that did it. But again, so yeah, the Chiefs defense is what it is. Their offense is a little bit smarter. They're taking time off the clock. I've noticed that they're spending more time on the field, trying to keep opposing offenses off the field, which is pretty smart because they know their defense is hyper limited and it gets gassed rather quickly. They fall apart late in games. I could actually see this game being like a very low scoring first half, and it kind of explodes out in the second because it seems like teams can do some damage to the Chiefs later in the games. They're very good early, the Chiefs are, on defense, but it seems like their defense just gets gassed or confused and just starts getting beat on late in games. I'm not sure if I really don't know what that is. So in terms of the defense, I think the Bills will, regardless, be able to put up points. Now, the question is, how many points can the Chiefs score and keep up pace with the Bills? The Bills defensively have been unreal this playoff run. It seems like they went like that about their defense that has been so all season, and it's just fired the fuck back up. They just shut Lamar right the hell down. Lamar was irrelevant in that game. Like the Ravens offense was irrelevant in that football game. It was very impressive to see Buffalo's defense suddenly just click back to life in that game against a pretty good offense in the Ravens usually. So if it's Chad Henne, we probably won't see 35 points. They might hold him to 20. But again, we're going with Henne plays great. Mahomes is out there potentially. Even when Mahomes was out there were times where the Chiefs offensively didn't look as crisp. They didn't look as sharp as they usually do. The coaching didn't seem as clicky. It seemed like against the Browns, the Andy Reid and the boys did not call the best of coaching games. And if that happens against the Bills, they'll get beat. They have really good coaching. McDermott, Dabble, I forget their defensive coordinator's name. I'm sorry. That's a really good set of dudes who really can run that Bills team. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to win. They know what to call. They don't really make coaching mistakes. And Andy Reid will make a few coaching mistakes. He did it against Cleveland. He called that option. I have no idea who calls the sweep option in the NFL because that's 100% of the time. That's what happens to quarterbacks when you call a college-style option in the NFL. No matter how you feel about that tackle, Andy Reid is the reason that happened because who in the hell calls that fucking play? Only Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy would think that would work in the NFL and your quarterback wouldn't die. And that's almost what happened. So I don't know. We'll see. If it comes I haven't really been impressed with the Chiefs offensively the last several weeks, dating back to the regular season, and there was rust there. They didn't look as sharp as usual, but Mahomes was throwing the ball well, making complete passes, but they just weren't resulting in points. Drives would stall out. I know it's the playoffs and everything like that, but again, it just seems like the Chiefs haven't been the Chiefs the last few weeks, and with the injury to Mahomes, the foot injury, the head injury, I don't know if we're going to see the same Kansas City Chiefs walk out there with the same kind of swagger, the same kind of, especially if Mahomes is under there. I wonder if the play calling will be different. I wonder if Andy Reid will be a little bit more conservative, which could be costly in a game against a team like the Bills who can score. So because of all these things, there's a lot of unknowns about this game for me still. Let's revisit it Saturday. But because of those reasons, I think the Bills are a little bit healthier, a little bit better coached. They've been playing a lot better. They've been trending hot football, playing great defense, doing what they have to on offense. Whereas the Chiefs, I feel like defensively, yeah, they've looked all right, but again, and the coach, it's just in Mahomes' injuries. I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with a fully healthy, crazy-ass Bills team like this. So I guess my Super Bowl pick is the Bucs and the Bills after this weekend. I guess we'll see Brady versus the Bills. Again, those are just, again, we'll go over the Bills pick again come Saturday because I'd like to know more about the Chiefs. But as things stand right now, I like the Bucs and the Bucs and the Bills to win their games and advance to the Super Bowl. You may disagree, you may agree, you may think that I'm stupid for picking who I picked, but that's all right. Everyone's going to have a little bit different picks. A lot of people might have the exact same ones. But again, those are my picks for this week. I quite enjoyed them. Again, we did very well last week, hoping to go 2-0 this week. We only get 2 chances. So we'll be live streaming both the games. We'll be live reacting to both of them, one after the other. Hopefully you tune in. It'll be a good time. We'll have fun watching Brady hopefully beat Rodgers and just seeing what happens in the Bills versus the Chiefs. That'll be an interesting matchup. So yeah, let me know your picks down below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. Let me know what you think of the picks. I know you're all be like, oh, you're stupid, but that's all right. But all right, guys, let me know your picks down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. This was a fun season. It's unfortunate we're nearing the end, but again, we'll do this all again and come next January. We'll be excited as all hell, and then we'll be sad the season's ending. Man, it goes too quick. 19 weeks really flies by if you really think about it. 20 weeks, really. But all right, thank you guys so much for listening. Have a good rest of your days. Let me know your picks. And go Patriots, go Lions, and good luck, Tom. Gotta keep winning, Brady. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Eric boys.